Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always, told out of Voice of Radio. So today we need to talk about a new product which has been confirmed. We're getting a new Battle Academy. Now, I gotta warn ya, this is one of those situations where we don't have full information. What we do have is a listing on TCG Factory and honestly a couple of other places as well. And that means that we can have a little bit of a look. It's also been listed in English and in Spanish. So yay, that's nice. But what is it actually going to be? Well, it's going to be a Battle Academy. And here's the thing though. I wasn't sure this was going to happen. And there's a very good reason for this. And the reason for this very simply is Japan have their own Battle Academy. And we just saw this released the other day. Well, it's not actually released yet, but I showed you it the other day. And the thing is, one of the cards in there was Sprigatito EX. Well, we know we're getting Sprigatito EX. We know that in the Paldea Adventure Chest, which is actually out now and is a very cool product, we know that in the Paldea Adventure Chest, we are getting Sprigatito EX. So, they kind of started taking some of those cards and moving them elsewhere. And then Japan had a Battle Academy, like I said, and we've never seen that before. Like, Japan had a different kind of thing, but now they've got the Battle Academy, and it was all shaping up a little bit like things are changing. Are we going to get a Battle Academy like we've had in the past? And the answer appears to be, yeah, no, mate, we definitely are. And cool. Nice. Sounds like a plan. Of course, Japan used to have a similar thing that was a family set, and they've actually got two different versions of the set, one featuring 4 decks, one featuring only 2, and they have a bunch of EX. I showed you all the new cards from the Battle Academy in Japan the other day. There were 48 of them, including a bunch of EXs. So it was all, there's a lot to talk about the other day, put it that way. Well, now, good news, because we are getting a Battle Academy. And here's the thing, what we get and what Japan got in their Battle Academy is not the same. Clearly what's happened here is Japan have gone, hey, Battle Academy, you know what? That's pretty good branding. That sounds about right. We're going to use that. So what Japan have gone and done is taken our Battle Academy and nicked the branding. And not in a bad way. Makes perfect sense. And now we're taking their Battle Academy, but we're not getting it exactly like it was. I think it's fair to say. Now, worth pointing out, of course, we have had the Battle Academy twice before. There have been 2 different Battle Academies. There was the first one that had Charizard on the front, and then there was the second one that had Score Bunny on the front. And both of those had 3 decks, and we actually know at this stage that this new one is also going to have 3 decks. Remember, in Japan, they're getting 4 decks. We are getting 3. Now, we don't actually have a huge amount of information about this new product, but we know that it is going to be coming, well, apparently it's coming out on the 21st of June. Take that, as always, with a pinch of salt until announced. And there's going to be 3 60-card decks, 2 booklets, a rules reference, a coin, some damage counters, 3 deck boxes, a setup instruction sheet, and a code card. And the code card is relevant because that suggests them you're going to be able to play these decks online. It doesn't tell us there's going to be new cards in there, but it does kind of suggest it. Now, the one thing that we can say with a fairly high degree of certainty, well, no, we say it for absolute certainty, we're not getting all the EXs that Japan got. And we know for absolute certain because, you know, Sprigatito's already been released. It's not in the Battle Academy. What I mean to say is we are going to have far fewer EXs than Japan got. Like I say, Japan got a whole bunch of them in their Battle Academy. Japan generally tends to, we're not. So in the Battle Academy in Japan, they got Sprigatito EX, Armarouge EX, Greninja EX, Pikachu EX, Houndstone EX, Lucario EX, Darkrai EX, and Melmetal EX. All of these are new EXs. All of them have never been seen anywhere before. There were 8 new EXs. That's lovely. We are not getting 8 new EXs. Now, I'm going to buy the Japanese Battle Academy because I collect Japanese cards and I want all 8 of these EXs. We are not getting that. No chance we're getting them. Honestly, we're probably getting 3. 1 per deck. Take Battle Academy 2 as an example. Oh, you got 1 deck with Scorbunny V, 1 deck with EVV, and 1 deck with Pikachu V. This is what makes the most sense. And yes, obviously in the first Battle Academy, there was 1 GX in each deck and exactly 1 GX in each deck. As you can tell from the front of the box here, Charizard, Mewtwo, Pikachu. That's all we had, right? Expect that to be the case again. We've had the Battle Academy twice, each of which has had 3 decks, each of which has had 1 chase card, GX then V. Expect 1 EX in each of the decks. Expect Pikachu to be one of them. Because Pikachu was in both the Battle Academy so far, I think it is very, very likely that we are going to be getting a Pikachu deck and 2 others, and each of them are going to have an EX. That's my prediction. We are getting this Battle Academy, we know that. There are 3 decks in there, we know that. And my prediction is 1 EX in each deck, because that's what we had the last 2 times. Which does then raise the question of, what about the others? That leaves 4 EXs unaccounted for. 3 in the Battle Academy, Sprigatito in the Paldea Adventure Chest. What about the others? And the answer is, and I'm sorry to say, they're just going to be slipped into a set at some point. And the problem is, these are very much filler cards. And I don't say that as a bad thing. If we look at what the Battle Academy is intended to be, it is an introductory product. It is basically, the way I like to describe it, it is the Pokemon TCG reimagined as a board game, but using real cards so you can expand it and all of that. So it's supposed to be a bit simpler and a bit easier, and in Japan, these products, whether they were the family decks from a while back or the newly branded Battle Academy, they're designed to be simple. Darkrai is a great Pokemon. Darkrai is going to get a proper EX at some point. And it's probably going to be really good because the card designers love Darkrai, and Darkrai always gets chase cards, and they tend to be good. This 2 energy 40, 3 energy 110, nah mate, garbage. Absolute garbage. Pikachu 3 energy 120. If we compare that to the Pikachu in Paldea Evolved, which of course is the Pikachu EX we previously had, well, the one in Paldea Evolved is way better. It's not phenomenal, don't get me wrong. But 3 energy 220, that's a little bit better. And sure, flip a coin if tails, you have to discard all energy from it. I get it. But it's just a much, much, much better card. Houndstone EX is coming around. We've got 100 damage. And you flip a coin until you get tails. You do 20 more damage for each heads. Which, admittedly, if you're the luckiest person in the history of the world ever, it's going to lead to some giant KOs. More likely, it's significantly worse than the Houndstone we've already had, which, to be fair, was a promo in Japan and not a stunning card. But 3 energy, 160 plus 10 more for each psychic Pokemon in your discard pile, that's much better. And we saw this happen in Fusion Strike, where they took cards from the second lot of family decks in Japan, and they whacked them into Fusion Strike, and we ended up with cards like Appleton V. 3 energy, 100, heal 30, woo! Yeah, no one cares about Appleton V, mate. It's not a good card. Sorry about that. And we ended up with stuff like, let's take Lucario as an example. Lucario's had good cards in the past. 3 energy, 120, that's it? Nah, mate, that is not it. There was actually a Greninja in that set as well. 3 energy, flip 3 coins, 80 for each head. That's the best we could do. And honestly, for a family deck card, that was actually really good. It wasn't good, but it was absolutely the best that we can do. And that's kind of my point here. These cards are not particularly good, and they are going to be used as filler in a future set. Like I say, 3 of them are going to be coming in this new Battle Academy. 1 of them we've already had in the Paldea Adventure Chest. The other 5, expect them to just be slipped into a set somewhere. They could be used as promos. That's generally not the way Pokemon tend to go. We're going to have some Fusion Strike-like set in the future. And if any of you have ever wondered why Fusion Strike has so many really uninspiring EXs, it's because they were taken from a previous product like this in Japan, which was never intended to actually be good. But we get the cards from Japan. We have to get them at some point. They come out over here. Honestly, I much, much prefer the Japanese way of doing it, which is to say, look, mate, we've got these decks, we're whacking 8 EXs in, let's go! I'm not such a fan of having to get these later and having them in a set and having lots of uninspiring EXs popped into a set. It's not up to me, just to be clear, but that's my opinion. I'll definitely be picking up the Japanese product. English product, we'll have to wait and see. Although I've said this before and it really is worth saying again, if you're looking to learn the Pokemon TCG, or if you're learning to play, or someone you know is, and they want to do this in a way which is very easy and fairly cheap and fairly low effort, this is wonderful. Several of my friends, who, just to be clear, are not Pokemon or Pokemon TCG fans, have bought the previous Battle Academies to play with their kids to teach them how to play, and they have reviewed it very well. There we go. That's what you need to know. And now it's over to you guys. Tell me if you're excited about a new Battle Academy, or tell me if you just don't care. Go nuts in the comment section, but be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCGradio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. And get shoutouts on the channel, like the lovely Uber MX, who's been a supporter of ours for a while now and is a very lovely person. So shout out to them for the support and the loveliness. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.